I think I got my love of words from my mother. She was good in English in high school, but she was not able to go on to college because she got married at the age of 16. When I was a child, every morning I would learn a new word, and that was our breakfast ritual. She would give me the word of the day, or I could find one for myself. We shared a favorite word, serendipity. In 2016, I had an operation on the spine, and I am now learning to manage pain. And it can be done, I believe. It's hard. My name is Dave Farson. I live in Overland Park, Kansas. I live with my wife, June. We have been married for 50 years. We live in the same house for 33 years. We have one child, a son. He is 42 years old, and he's making his way in the management of a big business. I met June in October of her freshman year. We used to take walks on Friday night. She was a good student. I was kind of a lousy student. I'm very proud of June. She's 71 and learned to swim. She looks good in the pool too. And now she sings in the Kansas City Symphony Chorus. I've got 5 college degrees, all liberal arts. I have a PhD in social psych. I had a good job for 33 years. I was a school teacher, and I always tried to make a connection with my students. The students in the school chose me as the teacher of the year 2 times in a row. I guess I was doing something right. Lack of money has prevented us from doing some things we'd like to do. When you choose to be a public servant as a teacher, you choose a certain lifestyle. June taught French, and she has always loved the language, and so we saved money every other year for her to go to France. We went to Scotland, Ireland, basically Northern Europe. I get something from painting. I love to hang around art galleries, and I like any work that doesn't require words to explain it. If you have to explain it, it fails. We become friends of the Nelson because the Nelson is one of the great things about Kansas City. It's free, and people like us pay a little bit so they can have free. I'm a lover of beauty, wherever I can find it. Nature, art galleries, words. Dreams by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. 8 simple lines that says, hold on to your dreams. Don't let people take them away, and don't let them diminish them. Hold on. If I were given a camera and said, go film this poem, you could probably film barren fields or grassy fields. Broken-winged bird. I had an experience with a bird when I was a kid once. Shooting BB guns, I happened to be good at it, and that was not good. I hit a bird once, and I saw it die, and I never shot again. And no, I don't think I'd go looking for a broken-winged bird. I'd go with the symbol of it. Abstractionists sometimes are trying to show that. You just don't quite understand. It's beautiful, but it's not quite there. That could be a broken-winged bird. I wish I were. That's a harder one for me. Wish I were healthier, didn't have to deal with pain. I wish I were more sensitive to others. My first priority is my wife, my family, and the work sometimes. And now I'm doing something that I really like. I get up every day and do pretty much what I want to do, which is to think and to write. Now, that writing has not made me famous, nor has it brought me any money. Yet.
This is my favorite photo of my parents. I still hear my mother say, "Don't cut on the marble. Look, Mom, I'm using a cutting board, just like you asked." This book. I cleaned my first chimney in the summer of 2015. My name is Robin Sims. I have a twin sister and a brother. I am 38. I live in Hutchinson with my father, and we are running a family business. I grew up on a farm near Hutchinson, and after high school, I went to college, got an associate's in English, and I got a bachelor's in Christian ministries. And a few years after that, I attended Wichita State and got a master's in English. I lived in Switzerland for a while and traveled to Italy and Spain and France and Germany. After all those travels, I decided to move back to Kansas. My mother passed about 2 years ago. She went so peacefully. Yeah, we were at the hospital. Yeah, but she let us know what she wanted. And she told us to keep working. So that was, she told Dad, keep doing the business. She had worked with my dad for 20 years. So that was one of the reasons I came home, to work with my dad.
Okay, Rob, put the light in there.
Okay. Coming home, I have found ways to remember her, taking on some of her rituals, wearing her aprons, using her dishes.
Looks good.
I've been trying to take care of her plants. We have the Christmas tree still up. No, there's one ornament and it's a photo of her. She loved Christmas. I didn't realize how many memories would be here. Yeah, these memories seem to grow, like my oregano in my garden. It's overflowing. So she didn't engage with poetry, but I think her life was poetic, and what she gave me was poetic. Books she wanted us to read, wanted us to go to college. She didn't go to college. From my room to my work, I have 5 steps. I do the office work, answer the phones. I also do the real stuff on the roof. After hours, I play tennis with my sister. I take walks with my dad. I write letters, do a lot of reading, gardening. I was attending grad school at Wichita State University, and one of my colleagues brought a copy of William Stafford's This Book, and I remember putting it next to my desk. It had a resonance to it, almost like a prayer. This book by William Stafford. Late, at the beginning of cold, you push your breath toward home. Silence waits at the door. You stamp, go in, start the fire. From any part of the room, I suddenly say hello, but do not get in your way. Quiet as all books, I wait, and promise we'll watch the night. You turn a page, winter misses a stride. You see the reason for time, for everything in the sky. And into your eyes I climb, on the strongest thread in the world, weaving the dark and the cold. This poem is nostalgic because it talks about home. It says, pushing your breath toward home. For me, my mother was home. She was a safe place. Winter misses a stride. I can't really explain it, but it seems the connection between this reader and this book shifted a season toward the flowers, toward the sun. Spring is coming soon. This is probably another reason why I love this poem. Yes, I am in love. On the weekends, I see my boyfriend and we go on adventures. That's a really personal question. And I love it because I'll give you an imaginary. So if I get married, I see myself still working for my dad. I think there's a possibility for balance to have both. And by the way, in 2 or 3 years, I will take over the business for my father. He wants to retire.
Music is freedom. I feel like playing jazz is one of my most pure forms of prayer. John Stewart Curry was born in Kansas. His portrait of his parents at the Art Museum yesterday, which is just 5 minutes walk from my house. Surrounded by these books, I'm in good company. My name is Luke Taylor Gilstrap, and I live in Wichita, Kansas with my wife Megan, my dog Mozart, and my cat Sophia. My wife and I met in college. We both were really interested in music. I was singing a song one day. She started singing with me, and it's still the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. There are a lot of correlations between Byzantine chant and jazz music. At least I think there are. Well, in the Orthodox Church, the different chants have what they're called tones. It doesn't tell you how to sing that, and then you're free to improvise. I majored in religion and philosophy, and now I'm currently MFA student. I wake up at 5 in the morning, I say my morning prayers, then I write from 6 to 8 usually, and then work at 8th Day Books. We seem to be doing okay. People know that when they buy this book for more money than they could get on Amazon, it's going straight to the owner. I definitely feel like I'm from Wichita. A lot of people are hanging Wichita flags You may not know that that's what you've seen, but I promise that you've seen it since you've been here. There's a really great kind of revival that's happening in Wichita, especially in the arts. So I identify with that too. I was raised as a Christian in the Disciples of Christ Church. When I converted to Orthodoxy, my parents were really receptive to it. I consider myself a devout Christian, but I still have doubts. I still, wrestle with things just like anyone else does. I'm encouraged by Christian Wyman's relationship between faith and doubt. Every Riven Thing by Christian Wyman. God goes, belonging to every riven thing he's made, seeing his being simply by being the thing it is. Stone and tree and sky, man who sees and sings and wonders why God goes. Belonging to every riven thing he's made means a storm of peace. Think of the atoms inside the stone. Think of the man who sits alone, trying to will himself into a stillness where God goes belonging. To every riven thing he's made there is given one shade, shaped exactly to the thing itself. Under the tree, a darker tree. Under the man, the only man to see God goes belonging to every riven thing. He's made the things that bring him near, made the mind that makes him go. A part of what man knows, apart from what man knows. God goes belonging to every riven thing he's made. When I read this poem, there's a certain kind of compassion that comes both from God and from another person when you deal with doubt. I just love the idea that these doubts that oftentimes, at least for me, make me feel guilty, like I'm not like a true Christian. I think this poem is saying that God makes these doubts. If God creates these doubts, if God makes the mind that makes him go, then of course God has compassion for us when we have those doubts. To every riven thing he's made, there is given one shade. The parish that I go to used to be a Syrian Orthodox church. So we have people who are affected by what's going on. There are people at St. George who are waiting for their family to come into Wichita and are not able to come because of political decisions. So I'm just grateful that for me it's a real thing that I now have to deal with and I have to pray for. I like most of all seeing people become better versions of themselves. I love watching someone develop into something that they didn't know they were capable of. I wish I were kinder with people and more open to other people, not so easily prone to stress, not as addicted to sweets as I am. I really like sweets. I belong to a family and a church and real books.
Hands of a mature farmer, they are very cracked and calloused. They're usually really tan because they're always outside. Like my dad's hands are very rough, but he's very gentle. My hands are well kept because, I don't know, I have calluses on all of my fingers and stuff from moving bales and stuff, but I don't know. My dad definitely works a whole lot harder than I do. The happiest day of my life. I'm not sure. I live a pretty good life, so I guess most days are happy for me. Just days where my dad gets to not farm. Those are usually pretty fun days just because we get a break and it's not all work. Or when my mom, she takes time off to spend with us. So this is Mo. So she's about 9. I love her. She loves me. I do like old photographs and looking at what things used to look like in Kansas or just around the United States and how people lived. Yeah, that photograph, it was called like diving horses. I would never do that because I would be so scared because it would have taken honestly a lot of strength to hold on and keep your balance when the horse is at that angle. She was paid $100 to yeah, that's crazy because I think that she should have even been paid more, even though at the time that's probably quite a bit. John Wayne is my favorite male actor. I mostly listen to country music. My favorite song is I Got Friends in Low Places. I think that's the name of it. It kind of makes fun of all the snobs like that have friends in high places and brag about it. My name is Kaylee James. I'm 18, I guess now. I live in McPherson, Kansas on a farm. I live with my mom, my dad, and my brother. My 2 sisters are in college, but they grew up with me here too. As long as I can remember, we've always lived here. I help my dad out on our farm, and then next year I plan to go to Fort Hays State for elementary education. I've been to Des Moines, and then I've been to Kansas City because I have family there. And then I've been to, in Texas, I went to a really big, Fort Worth. My dad traveled a lot when he was younger because of his dad's job, which was selling scales to different companies. But I don't think he ever went to New York. My mom used to be a nanny in New York on Central Park West. She went from a small dairy farm, and she didn't have a lot of money or anything, and so to go from that to where these people let her drive their fancy cars, she thought it was pretty nice, so not too shabby. Every time I get in a city, it's a little bit out of my comfort zone because I'm so used to being like wide open spaces and stuff. I have never seen the ocean. Very much I would like to. It just looks like it never ends. My first job was being a babysitter for some kids in our 4-H group, and I still babysit them. And yeah, I think I was like 12 or so when I started that. It's such a gamble farming because of the prices, the weather and stuff. And when I read that poem, it was like the poet understood. The Farmer by W.D. Earhart. Each day I go into the fields to see what is growing and what remains to be done. It is always the same. Nothing is growing. Everything needs to be done. Plow, harrow, disc, water, pray till my bones ache and hands rub blood raw with honest labor. All that grows is the slow and transient intensity of need. I have sown my seed on soil, guaranteed by poverty to fail. But I don't complain, except to passer-by who ask me why I work such barren earth. They would not understand if I stooped to lift a rock and hold it like a child, or laughed, or told them that it is their poverty I labor to relieve. For them I complain. A farmer of dreams knows how to pretend. A farmer of dreams knows what it means to be patient. Each day I go into the fields. I think the poem, it's real, like that's how it is, like everything you do is wrong, so I like it. It's very, very true. If I could be anything, I'd really love to be like a rancher, but that will take a lot of money, so I'm gonna try to work up to that, and hopefully like me and my dad and my siblings and my mom, if they can all partner to do something like that, but yeah, that's the dream, so hopefully. but now is a new chapter and I'll head off to Hayes for college.